grab a strap. I brought it down. Not sure if we'll use it or not, but if you have one handy, we'll just see how the spirit moves me. Sometimes with the low back ache, sometimes those hamstrings are part of that pull, and so using the strap can be helpful. So that's kind of what I was thinking. But so if you have one handy, that would be good. All right. So let's find our comfortable seat. Take these off. Let our sitting bones settle in. Let's begin rubbing the palms of our hands together, bringing focus and energy into the palms. Taking the fingertips and gently brushing across the forehead, temples, and cheeks, brushing away any worries or expectations. Bringing the fingertips to the eyes, palms to the cheeks, turning your attention inward. And take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. When you're ready, you can float your hands down, either keeping your eyes closed or having your gaze downward. Extend your spine up tall, shoulders back and down. Lifting your heart with each inhaling breath. Sitting bones sinking toward the earth with each exhale. We'll tune in with 3 ohms. Feel free to join in or just absorb the vibration. Take another deep breath in. Hold. A moment to absorb the vibrations of the mantra as it connects us all as one. Allow yourself to settle here this Saturday morning and set an intention for your practice, something you'd like to nurture or cultivate within yourself. Bringing your, bringing your awareness to your breath. Allow each inhale to bring you here, to this room, to this moment. Allow each exhale to release anything not needed for your practice today. With your next inhaling breath, allow the belly to soften and expand. And as you exhale, draw the belly toward the back. Follow your body's rhythm. With your next inhaling breath, expand the belly and open the ribs, reaching them out to the sides. And as you exhale, contract the belly and relax the ribs. Follow your body's rhythm. With your next inhaling breath, expand the belly, open the ribs, and lift the chest, creating space for your heart. And as you exhale, contract, relax, and lower. Continue this full deep breath, expanding the lungs in all directions with each inhale. Completely releasing the breath with each exhale. As we continue this full deep breath, gently begin to lengthen the exhale, slowing it down, making it longer than the inhale. Allowing yourself to gently rest with that exhale, waiting patiently till the end of the breath. And then allowing the lungs to refill with fresh oxygen, bringing the life force into the body through the breath. Gently releasing anything that's not needed with the long, slow exhale. Take 2 more extended breaths, allowing the body to release with the exhale, softening through the shoulders and anywhere else you may be feeling tension. And when you reach the end of the exhale, gently return to your natural breath. Taking a moment to notice any changes you feel in your mind or body, remembering that our breath is always with us to help find those moments of peace and calm. Bringing your awareness to the right hand, allow the tips of the thumb and pointer finger to come together, and bring those fingertips to your heart center. Turning your attention deeper inward toward your heart, looking within for your inner light and your inner joy. As you find that connection with the light within you, allow its warm glow to flow on the breath throughout your entire body. As you find that connection with your inner joy, allow it to radiate up onto your face in a smile. And breathe it out into the space around you. As we continue our practice, allow your light and joy to flow through each breath and movement, honoring all that you are in each moment. When you're ready, you can gently float your hand down, open your eyes. If you'd like to switch your legs or change positions, please feel free to do that. Sip of tea. And with your next inhaling breath, let's scrunch the shoulders up by our ears. Exhale, press them back and down. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, back and down. Once more, lift and squeeze. Exhale, back and down. We'll bring the hands in front of the chest, palms facing down. Tuck the shoulders back and down, lifting the heart, reaching through the crown of the head. Gently strengthening the muscles around the scapula. You may notice one shoulder is easier to tuck than the other, or one causes a little more, or takes a little more effort. And let's press the elbows back toward each other, lifting the heart, thinking about squeezing the center of the shoulder blades toward each other, wringing out any tension. Breathing into the heart. Let's open the arms wide, turn the palms up. Lift the heart a little more if that feels okay, drawing the shoulder blades down, pulling the lower corners of the shoulder blades toward each other. If it feels okay, flex the wrists, pressing through your palms. And then bring the arms in front, crossing the right over the left, bending at the elbows, hands back to back or left hand around the right wrist. Elbows up to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Lengthen the back of the neck and soften the jaw. Gently squeezing the arms together, pressing the elbows away from the body as you breathe into the upper back. If it feels okay, begin to lower and lift the elbows, extending that stretch around the shoulders. With your next inhale, if it feels okay, lift the elbows up a little higher and gently arch. And as you exhale, fold over, paying attention to your back, letting the arms drop forward and the weight open through the upper back. You can relax the back of the neck. And with the next inhale, coming back to the center, unwrapping the arms, opening wide, pressing through the palms. And then we'll bring the arms in front, crossing the left over the right, bending at the elbows, hands back to back, or right hand around the left wrist. Elbows up to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Lengthening through the back of the neck and softening the jaw. Gently squeeze the arms together, pressing those elbows away, breathing into the upper back. And then as it feels okay, you can lower and lift the elbows, extending that stretch around the shoulders. And with the next inhale, if that feels okay, lifting the elbows up, gently arching. And with your exhale, folding over again, listening to your back, letting the weight of the arms open through the upper back a little more, softening the neck. And with your next inhale, coming back to the center, we'll unwrap the arms, opening wide. And then let's bring the hands to the heart. Take a breath in and out. And we'll interlace the fingers. Press the palms out in front of you. Roll the shoulders forward. Drop the chin and round the spine. Inhale, lifting, gently arching. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. This time as you exhale, gently drop the chin, leaving the palms up. Soften the elbows, rolling the shoulder blades back toward each other. Squeeze the upper corners of the shoulder blades. Wringing out tension through the trapezius muscles, across the shoulders and into the neck. Notice if the jaw is tense and gently soften it. Release the back of the neck a little more if that feels okay. And again, if it feels okay for your shoulders and elbows, you can press the palms a little higher. With your next inhale, lift the chin. And as you exhale, float the hands down. Let's begin to make some big circles with our torso. Reaching the ribs out and around, rolling back. Opening the hips a little and beginning to loosen up the low back. The next time you're in the front, we'll switch directions. And then the next time you're in the front, we'll lift up tall. Let's bring the left knee to meet the right. So we'll be sitting on the right hip. You can stay on a blanket if you'd like, or come down to the mat, or add a block or blanket under a knee to help you feel more stable. When you found that stable position, we'll inhale the hands behind the head. And as you exhale, bring the left elbow toward the ankles. Inhale, lifting up tall. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach. This time, hold and breathe. Think about dropping the right hip toward the mat, lifting the right elbow up toward the sky, and lifting the heart. Chin is gently away from the chest, breathing into the right side of the body. With your next inhale, lift up tall. And as you exhale, we'll float the hands down, left hand to the right knee, right hand behind the right hip. Face forward, deep breath in. And as you exhale, gently twisting toward the right, head comes around left. Lifting the heart with the inhale, gently twisting through the exhale. Hold and breathe. If it feels okay for your neck, you can gently turn the chin over the left shoulder. And then gently come back to center with the chin. And with your next inhale, come back to the center with the torso. And let the breath go. We'll switch legs or switch sides. So we're sitting onto the left hip. Knees are pointing toward the left. Feet are on the right. Always feels a little strange when we switch sides. Finding that support that you need under the knee or under the hips. And with your next inhale, bringing the hands behind the head, lifting the spine tall. And as you exhale, drop the right elbows toward the ankles. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach. This time, hold and breathe. Dropping that left hip toward the mat, lifting the left elbow up toward the sky. Heart is lifted, chin is gently away from the chest. Breathing into the left side of the body. Creating space. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. Exhale, float the hands down, right hand to the left knee, left hand behind the left hip. Face forward, deep breath in. And as you exhale, gently twist toward the left. Hold and breathe. Lifting the heart with your inhale, gently twisting through your exhale. If it feels okay for your neck, you can gently turn the chin over the right shoulder. Gently bringing the chin back to the center. With your next inhale, bring the torso back to the center and let the breath go. Let's extend the legs out in front of us. And go ahead and grab a strap if you have that available. Scoot our feet down toward the end of the mat, lifting the spine tall. Have the toes pointing up toward the sky, working on staff pose. We'll engage the quadriceps, drawing the kneecaps up, gently lifting the heels off the floor if that feels okay, or doing one leg at a time if that's challenging. Hands can rest on the thighs or on the floor. Really lifting through the heart. Notice the shoulders, let them be soft back and down. Reaching through the heels. Rooting through the sitting bones. Drawing the belly muscles toward the back to lift the torso. And with your next exhale, gently soften the legs. Let's take the strap and gently wrap it around the arches of the feet. And then I like to wrap it around my hands for a little traction. We'll lift the spine tall, pushing the feet away. And then as it feels okay, begin to tilt the pelvis. So really thinking about keeping the spine from the tailbone all the way up to the back of the head nice and long. Shoulders are back and down. Gently tilting forward with the exhale. Softening. Lengthening with the inhale. Noticing the length you can get in the hamstrings. The length you can get in the low back. Without really worrying about how close you are getting to the legs. Actively pushing away with the soles of the feet, reaching back through the hips, lengthening through the spine. Finding those places of tightness or tension and gently letting go, breathing into them. I'm noticing little places that I didn't even know were tight that are gently like, hey, let go here. Let's do one more breath. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. We'll release the strap. Let's bring the hands behind the hips, fingertips pointing toward the hips. I'm working with inclined plane or reverse table. So if you're working with inclined plane, keeping the legs straight, lifting the hips high, elbows stay slightly bent. Or reverse table, you can bring the feet hip width apart, lifting the hips here. So finding the position that feels best for you today, and with your next inhale, let's lift the hips up toward the sky. Exhale, bending those elbows, slowly lowering and hovering if that feels okay. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. Elbows are slightly bent, hips pressing up high. Head is extended out from the spine or chin toward the chest. Just try not to drop the head back onto the shoulders. And with the next exhale, we'll gently soften, lowering, and shake out those wrists. Let's take hold underneath the knees. Drawing the belly muscles down toward the back like a seat belt across the low belly will work with boat pose, forward boat. So coming on to the toes and the tailbone, making sure the space behind you is also clear so that if you tip back, you don't hit your head. And then as it feels okay, lifting the calves parallel to the floor, lengthening through the spine, shoulders back and down, belly muscles are strong. Can stay here, or if it feels okay, extend the legs out. From either position, you can keep the hands behind the knees or release the hands, extending them alongside the legs. Really engaging those lower belly muscles. If you need a little rest, you can bend the knees, draw them in, either with the toes in the air or bringing the toes down. And when you're ready, extending out, maybe the same or different version than the first time. Really engaging those belly muscles. And we'll lower the knees down. The feet down. Drop the knees out to the side, sliding the feet a little bit away from the body, making a diamond. And then sliding the hands under the lower legs, bringing them over the shins, ankles, or feet, rounding the spine, breathing into the back. Then we'll gently roll the spine up, shoulders up and back and down, bending the knees and coming to the center of the mat. We'll round the spine and gently roll back. Oh, have your strap within reach. Tuck the shoulders back and down, extending the legs out. Gently scan up the body, noticing any parts that feel tired, achy, or sore. Honoring yourself and your body by listening to its messages. Pushing yourself to your edge, but not beyond it. And remembering that each time you do yoga, your body is a little bit different. Let's bend the right leg, floating the hands to the knees. You draw it in toward the chest. Lengthen through the neck, shoulders tuck under, soften around the hip. Keeping the left hand on the knee, allow the right arm to fall out to the side, palm facing down. And with your exhale, gently twist over the left side of the body. Vision toward the right arm, as much as feels okay for your neck. Release the muscles around the hip, easing the spine into the twist. With your next inhale, come back to the center. Let's go ahead and take the strap and we'll wrap it underneath the arch of the foot and extend the leg up. Reaching through the left foot, gently flex the foot and then reach through the heel of the right foot, letting the low back sink into the mat. Pushing up with the foot as you pull down gently with the strap. Making sure we're not locking the knee, but having it as extended as feels okay. Then I want you to think about your right sitting bones and think about pressing them in the direction of the end of your mat. You're sort of lengthening the back and the hamstring by pushing the sitting bones away. If it feels okay, you can draw the leg toward the torso a little more or stay where you are. Keeping the left leg as active as the right, and then notice the belly muscles, draw them down toward the back. So it should, even though we're not moving, it should be a very active pose. Legs extending, belly's drawing down. And then we'll gently soften the knee, releasing the strap, and extend that leg down. And if you line your feet up next to each other, you may notice that that right leg goes out a little further. The heel's reaching further down on my legs than the left leg. Let's bend the left leg, bringing the hands to the knee, drawing it in toward the chest. Shoulders tuck under, neck is nice and long. Soften around the hip. Right hand on the knee, left arm falls out to the side, palm facing down. And as you exhale, gently twist over the right side of the body, vision toward the left arm as much as feels okay for your neck. Soften the muscles around the hip, easing the spine into the twist. Your next inhale, come back to the center. We'll take hold of the strap, wrapping it around the arch of the foot and extending the leg up toward the sky. Something about actively flexing the right foot, reaching through the heel, then reaching through the heel of the left foot, but trying not to lock the knee. Pushing the heel up as you pull down with the strap, creating a little resistance. Low back is rooted into the floor. Keeping both legs active and reaching. Notice what's happening with your shoulders. If they're scrunching up, tuck them down, gently soften them. Deep breath. And if it feels okay, you can begin drawing the leg toward the torso, keeping the legs active. And begin drawing the belly muscles down toward the back. Reaching through the heels, belly muscles are drawn down. Releasing through the hamstring. Pressing the sitting bones down toward the end of the mat. Lengthening the back as well as the leg. And then gently releasing. Lower the leg down. Touch those heels near each other and see if they've evened out. And we'll bend the knees. We'll walk the feet gently to the edges of the mat. And just begin to kind of windshield wiper your knees from one side to the other. Opening the hips a little more. You may notice a little pull in either the front of the hip or along the IT band. Is that the pace that feels comfortable for your body right now? If you'd like to kind of rest on one side for a few breaths, please listen to your body and do that. And then we'll gently come back to the center. We'll bring the feet closer to hip width apart, walking the feet toward the hips. Lift the toes, I almost said fingers, lift the toes and spread them wide as you lower them down, creating the one end of your bridge. Tuck the shoulders under, having the arms alongside the body, pressing the shoulders back into the mat, creating the other end of the bridge. With your next inhale, let's scoop the pelvis, pressing the hips up high as you roll the spine up. Coming into bridge pose. Exhale, gently lower the spine down. Inhale, scoop and lift. Squeezing the buttocks, pressing the hips up high. Chin stays gently away from the chest. Exhale, slowly roll the spine down. Inhale, scoop and lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. If you're holding, press into the feet, knees stay parallel, pressing back into the shoulders, but keeping the chin away from the neck, the throat, so that you can have the natural curve of the neck stay intact. If you'd like to roll the shoulders under, working on opening the chest, you can do that. You could interlace the fingers, pressing the palms together, or you could also take hold of a strap underneath there if that doesn't feel good for your wrists to have the hands that close together. You can walk the elbows in a little more, and either keep the elbows bent or extend the arms, but really pay attention to those wrists and elbows, not overdoing. Reaching high through the hips, breathing into the heart, strengthening through the back. Then we'll gently release the hands, roll the shoulders back out, and slowly roll the spine down. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, tuck the pelvis, pressing the low back into the mat. Inhale, release. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, release. Exhale, tuck. This time, hold and breathe here. Gently press the heels into the floor. Engage the inner groin muscles as you pull the belly muscles down. And with your next inhale, release. And let the breath go. Let's bring the knees over the torso, hugging them in to Apanasana. Breathing into the low belly. Then we'll spread the knees wide, bring them outside of the ribs if that feels okay. Either bringing the hands behind the knees or reaching the arms between the legs, taking hold of the arches of the feet. From either position, bring the soles of the feet to face the ceiling. Soften through the low back. Release through the hips. Relax the muscles of your face as you surrender into Ananda Balasana, happy baby pose. Let's lower the feet down, bringing the knees back together. From here, you can either roll to your side, pressing up with your hands, or slip your hands behind your knees, kick your feet over your head, and gently rock up. And let's come forward onto our hands and knees. And if you'd like to add a little extra padding under your knees, bring that blanket underneath. So bring the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, soften the elbows, head extends out from the spine, shoulders tuck back and down. Belly muscles draw up toward the back in a strong table pose. Take a breath in and out. With your next inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the spine, lift the chin. Exhale, tuck the tailbone around the spine, drop the chin. Inhale, lifting, spine follows. Exhale, rounding. Follow your breath, really taking your time, releasing the spine and the muscles around it. Such a simple pose, but it really can bring us great benefit and relief if we can slow down, follow the breath, and really tune into what our body needs. One more breath. And we'll come back to the center, back to table pose. Take a breath in and out. With your next inhale, take the right hand, sweeping it up to the side. And then exhale, slide it underneath the left arm, dropping that right shoulder to the mat. You can keep the left hand on the mat for support if that feels better for your neck. Gently dropping that right shoulder into the mat, pull back away from it, feeling that stretch around the shoulder blade. You can stay here, or if it feels okay, lifting that left arm up toward the sky. You could bring the hand to the low back. You could also drop the arm over the ear. All the while really continuing to pull back through that right shoulder. And with your next inhale, we'll lift the left arm up and place it onto the mat. As you exhale. Inhale, pressing up in onto the left hand, sweeping the right arm up. And bringing that hand back down. And take a breath in and out as you kind of notice what's the same or different between the shoulders now. And with the next inhale, sweep the left arm up. And exhale, slide it underneath that right arm, bringing the left shoulder inside of the head to the mat. Gently pull back into that left shoulder. You can keep the right hand on the mat or bring it up toward the sky. You could bring the hand to the low back, or if it feels okay, you could drop it over the ear. Continuing to pull back through that left shoulder. With the next inhale, lifting that right arm up. Exhale, placing the palm down. Inhale, pressing into the palm, sweeping that left arm up. And exhale the hand down. Walk the fingers out, or the hands out a little bit more as we tuck the toes under, pressing the hips up and back into downward dog. Softening the knees, pressing the hips high. Think about pressing into the fingertips to take a little of the weight off of the wrists, rolling the shoulders back toward each other. Hips reach high, knees are soft, heels gently float low. Head is between the arms with the chin gently away from the chest. Breathing into the belly. Pressing into the left foot with your next inhale, let's reach the right leg up behind us. And then if it feels okay, you can bend the knee, stack that right hip on top of the left as you open the front of the right hip. Coming back to the center, let's swing that right knee into the belly and then shift our weight over the hands, supporting the knee. Excuse me, my brain just blipped out. Supporting the weight of the body on the hands. You can come down to elbows if that feels better. Pulling that knee up toward the belly, strengthening both the belly and the back. And then let's bring the right foot down, sweeping it through, working it up by scrunching those toes forward. Let's drop the back knee down, uncurl the toes. If you need to walk that right leg out to the side a little, go ahead and do that. I had mine kind of too far in the center. And then with your next inhale, let's sweep the arms up. And exhale, sweep them down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, sweeping down. Inhale, up. Hold and breathe if that feels okay. Think about the hips. Right hip presses back, left hip presses forward. Dropping the front of the left hip down. And if it doesn't feel good for your shoulders, have your elbows out at cactus pose or bring the hands to the heart. And we'll bring the hands back to the mat. If you'd like to have blocks here for support, you can do that as well underneath the hands. We'll tuck the toes of the back foot under and press the right hip back. Lengthening through those hamstrings. Think about reaching straight back through the right hip. Mine sometimes wants to swing out to the side, so you have to tuck it under. And I want you to bring that back foot forward a little bit, so it's shortening that space, and then a little bit wider as well. Lengthen through the spine. If it feels okay, gently bending that right knee, sweep the arms up. Coming up tall into Virabhadrasana 1. Again, adjusting the arms to what feels right for your shoulders. And with your next exhale, folding over, lengthening through the back of the leg, lengthening through the spine. Let's bend the right knee and we'll lift that left leg behind us. Can stay here, or if it feels okay, using your focus spot for your gaze, lifting the torso, coming into warrior three, arrow warrior. Arms can be by the hips. Could bring the opposite arm out. Not today. Or both arms out. And then we'll lower the left leg back down, bringing the hands to the mat, and then coming back into downward dog. So hopefully you all fared better than I did. I think it's harder on the carpet, but it's better challenge for the brain and the body. Reaching back through the hips, strong downward dog, soft knees, heels floating low. Let's shift forward into plank. If you'd like to bring the knees down, go ahead. And then we'll tuck the elbows coming all the way down to the mat. Uncurling the toes, pressing the pelvic bone into the mat. Inhale into a gentle cobra, keeping the back of the neck nice and long. Hold and breathe. And with your exhale, lower the head, tuck the toes under, take a breath in. And with your next exhale, pressing the hips back into downward dog. With your next inhale, pressing into the right foot, reach up with the left leg. Can stay here, or if it feels okay, bend the knee, stacking the left hip over the right, opening up the front of the hip. Coming back to the center, let's draw the knee in toward the chest and shift the weight over the hands. Pulling the knee up into the belly, coming down under forearms if that feels better for your wrists. You can also think about pressing those fingertips into the mat. Then we'll gently step forward, dropping that back knee down as we work the toes forward. Uncurling those back toes, walking the left foot to the side a little bit to create a stable base. With your next inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, floating down. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, floating down. Once more, sweeping up. Then hold and breathe if that feels okay. Adjusting the shoulders as that feels good. Either arms up, out to cactus, or hands at the heart. Thinking about the right hip pressing back, left hip pressing forward, and then softening down through the front of the right hip. Remember to keep breathing. And we'll bring the hands down. Again, you can place blocks under the hands if that feels better. Tuck the toes under, pressing back with that right hip. Nope, that's a left hip. Lengthen the spine, softening through the hamstrings, making sure the hip is gently tucked under. Then we'll gently bring that right foot up a little bit and out to the side a little more to create that stable base. Bending the left knee with your inhale, sweep the arms up. Coming into Virabhadrasana 1. Pressing both feet into the mat. Again, adjusting the arms to support the shoulders. Noticing if the shoulders are up by the ears and gently softening them down. And with your next exhale, fold over, gently straightening that leg, releasing the back. Then bending the front leg, we'll lift the back leg behind us. Staying here, using your focus spot for your gaze, or if it feels okay, lifting the torso, coming into Arrow Warrior. And again, you can use variations of the arms. I'm not going to right now. And then bringing the hands down, stepping back with the right foot, and then stepping back with the left foot. Coming back to downward dog, softening the knees, reaching back through the hips. Take a breath in and out. With the next inhale, come back to plank, elbows slightly bent. And you can bring the knees down or keep the knees up, lowering the rest of the way down. Inhale, gentle cobra, pelvic bone roots into the mat, top of the feet pressed down. Hold and breathe. And with your next exhale, lower down. Take a breath in as you tuck the toes under. And with your exhale, press the hips up and back, downward dog. Soften those knees, reaching back with the hips. Notice what's going on with the shoulders and the neck and the jaw. Allowing them to soften. And let's bring the knees to the mat. And we'll turn to sit, facing the long end of the mat with the legs nice and wide. If you would like to have your blanket underneath the hips here, that helps to tilt the pelvis forward, making that a little easier to access the pose. Think about flexing the feet, lengthening through the spine, bringing the hands in the center. And then gently begin to tilt the pelvis forward as you walk the spine out over the center. Stopping when you notice some tightness or tension, softening around it. Lengthening through the back of the neck. Reaching back through the tailbone. If it feels okay, you can lift the heels, gently walking them away a little more. Lowering down a little more if that feels okay. Honoring your body. If you'd like to rest the head in the hands or on a block, go ahead and do that. Anything that can allow you to bring a little more ease to the pain, to the pose. Hopefully not to the pain, but ease to the pain if you're having pain. I think go a little more if that feels okay. Softening through the legs. Lengthening through the low back. And with your next inhale, lift the head and gently begin to walk the hands back. And let's bring the legs back to cross-legged. Lengthening the spine up tall. With your next inhale, reach to the crown of the head. And as you exhale, drop the right ear over the right shoulder. Tucking that right shoulder back and down, breathe into the left side of the neck. With your next inhale, come back to the center. As you exhale, drop the left ear over the left shoulder, tucking that left shoulder back and down, breathing into the right side of the neck. With the next inhaling breath, come back to the center. And as you exhale, turn the chin over the right shoulder. Hold and breathe. Inhale back to the center. Exhale the chin over the left shoulder. Hold and breathe. And with the next inhale, come back to the center and let the breath go. And we'll bend the knees, coming to the center of the mat, and gently round the spine, rolling back. Lift the feet up toward the sky, rocking the hands or block underneath the hips, supporting the legs. Lengthen through the neck. Ankles and knees are relaxed as you breathe into the belly. And we'll bend the knees, rocking the hands or block out from underneath the hips. Hugging the knees in toward the chest. You can rock from side to side or make small circles with the low back. Reversing the circles. And bringing the arms out to the side, palms facing down. One last twist. Knees together. Dropping the knees to the right, vision to the left. And with your next inhaling breath, coming back to the center. Exhaling to the left, vision to the right. And with your next inhale, coming back to the center, lowering the feet down into Shavasana. You can have the feet on the edges of the mat, knees resting together. Place a bolster under your legs as you extend out, or just have the legs extended out on their own. Feet about hip width apart. Tucking the shoulders under, palms turned up, arms slightly away from the body. Relaxing your forehead, softening your eyes, loosening your jaw. Gently bring your awareness back to the breath. Allowing each inhale to fill you with a sense of peace and calm. Allowing each exhale to release anything that no longer serves you. Release the muscles from the bones, surrendering them to the earth, feeling its strength and support beneath you. Let the breath bring you back to your heart center, reconnecting with the light and joy that always reside deep within your heart. Let each breath fill your heart with loving kindness for yourself, sending that loving kindness on the breath to each and every cell of your body, honoring all of who you are in this moment. Gently begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch in whatever way feels comfortable for you. When you're ready, you can bend your knees, roll to your side, and rest there for a moment. And then gently return to a seated position. We'll end with a metta blessing of loving kindness. Please feel free to join in. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings have peace. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. May all beings be free. The light in me honors the light in you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. For our world, for our community, and for ourselves. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today.